Hi, thank you for joining me today. And today we're going to make chili. I personally think that chili is very good not only to eat when it's cold, but also when you're trying to lose your weight, because it has a lot of good stuff in it, like vegetables, spices, some heat. You can vary that heat to your liking, and it's a very yummy and very tasty dish. So instead of ground beef, however, we're gonna use ground turkey. So we're gonna go make it a little bit healthier than otherwise it would be with ground beef. But if you like ground beef, you can also use ground beef. However, you will need to extract as much fat as you can from a ground beef. But instead of ground beef, like I said, we're going to use ground turkey, and we'll see how it turns out. So let's put our aprons on and let's get cooking. So for this recipe, we will need a pound of ground turkey, olive oil, onion, celery, some sweet peppers and jalapeno pepper for heat, garlic, cilantro, it's gonna be for garnish. We're also gonna need some diced tomatoes and some crushed tomatoes, kidney beans, of course, and sometimes I like to use organic stuff if I can afford it. So it's up to you. For spices, we're gonna use oregano, thyme leaves, ground cumin, chili powder, soy sauce, Worcestershire sauce. Sorry, I can't pronounce that very well. And some kosher salt. I always use kosher salt when I cook. This way, it comes out. The dish comes out is not as salty, and it's less salty than your regular table salt, so I prefer using kosher salt. So let's I already started the pot, and this pot is nice and hot. I put the heat on medium, and I'm gonna use the cast iron Dutch oven. I love this Dutch oven because it's distributes the heat evenly on the bottom, so when it cooks more evenly. As you can tell, this pot has seen a lot of chilies and ragouts and all other stuff. It's I don't know how many times I used it. I love it. So we're gonna start the heat going, and already started, and I'm gonna put some olive oil. We need about 2 tablespoons. I'm just gonna put roughly 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and we're gonna add a turkey to it. And I'm just gonna take some turkey, and I'm just gonna put it in a pot like this. Just take a small amounts of turkey like this, and just ground turkey, and put it in a pot. And it's gonna start the browning process. I'm gonna wash my hands quickly, and I'll be right back. I'm gonna show you what the pot looks like with the ground turkey in it. And we're gonna just let it brown. We need a nice brown color on turkey. It adds flavor to any dish, actually. When you brown vegetables or meat, it's always good to brown it first to develop some flavor. So next, we're gonna prep some vegetables. We need about 2 cups of onions. So I'm gonna chop. I'm not gonna be very precise with this. We like it chunky. I like chunky chili, and my family prefers chunky chili. So, but as you can see, it kind of cooks down, and you don't have to be precise with onions, especially in chili. So you kind of cut it the way you want, but it does need to be cut in at least bite-sized pieces. So we need about 2 cups. Onion is the vegetable that cooks down very well, so it will decrease in size when it's cooked. So it seems like 2 cups is a lot, but actually it's in the final dish it's not gonna be just, you know, you're not gonna see just onions. Always try to keep the fingers away from the knife, from the blade, and the key is the knife has to be sharp, and you kind of have to be careful. So let's check on turkey. We're gonna, alright, I see some color developing, and I'll just show you. In the pot we still some red, but there is some color developing underneath, so that's what we want. We're gonna let it go for maybe another 5 minutes or so, and we're gonna prep the vegetables. We're gonna stir occasionally. We're not gonna stir constantly, just occasionally. Start to brown, get the maximum amount of surface on the turkey brown. That's what we want because it's flavor. I'm gonna get onions and I put them in this bowl. I'm gonna chop other vegetables. Alright, so for this recipe we're gonna need about a cup of celery, and I tend to put a little more vegetables than its recipe calls because it's just my personal preference. You can't go wrong with more vegetables. It's just, you know, more minerals, more vitamins, more good stuff in it. So I switched to this knife, my favorite knife. And we're gonna again cut it in bite-sized pieces, but they can be slightly smaller. I like to chop celery in smaller pieces like this. And like I said, we need about a cup. It looks like if we chop one more, we're gonna be there about. But like I said, it's not an exact science. So if you put slightly more, it's not gonna make a big difference. Whatever makes sense, whatever you have. Sometimes you know, you don't want to waste the good stuff, so you just incorporate everything that you have. So that's about a cup. We're gonna put this in a bowl with chopped onions. So next we're gonna prep a jalapeno pepper. So with jalapeno pepper, I'm just gonna use I'm not gonna use seeds because I don't like it very hot. I like a little bit of heat, but I don't like it very hot. It's I have a little sensitive stomach, so but if you don't have a sensitive stomach, I guess you can use seeds and everything, but I like to use just this, I guess this part, the jalapeno pepper, and we're gonna chop it fine. We don't need big pieces of jalapeno pepper. Oh, I guess it's gonna cut easier this way. And we're just gonna need about a tablespoon. Like I said, you can go with another pepper if you like it spicier. That's up to you. I'm gonna check on turkey. Turkey is doing fabulous. It did not release a lot of fat, so this is what we want. We just want flavorful dish without any extra fat. So that's turkey is going very well in the pot. So we're gonna give it maybe another minute, and we're gonna add onions and celery to it. In the meantime, we're gonna prepare garlic. So you can either, I like a lot of garlic. We need about 2 tablespoons. Maybe this is too much, but we'll see. You can chop garlic, mince garlic, or you can do like crushed garlic with a pressed garlic, I guess. But I use this press for garlic, so we can do either. If you like to see chunks of garlic, like bigger pieces of garlic in your dish, it's really up to you. You can make it bigger or smaller. I like, I guess, kind of go medium size, but like I said, we can do this garlic. You can mince this garlic. And the way I mince it, I just slice it and then run it with my knife like this. I like slightly larger pieces of garlic in chili or any other dish, but it's really up to you. Like I said, you can also use the press. Let's try to use that and see how it comes out. Like this. And we'll just dispose of that. So let's run a little more. One more time. A couple more times. So that's our garlic and jalapeno pepper. It's gonna go in before we add spices. But it looks like our turkey is well browned, and it's ready to, the pot is ready to receive vegetables. So let's take a look at the brown color on the turkey. This is what you want. And it looks like it's a little bit dry, so maybe I put just a little bit of more olive oil. It's okay to adjust the recipe. You can go wrong with olive oil because it's good oil. And we'll add onions, chopped onions and celery to the dish. And I'm gonna start browning process on the vegetables. And they also, the juices from the vegetables are gonna help to release any bits of turkey stuck to the pot. And we're gonna get that going for a few minutes. The heat is on medium, so we're gonna get that going. We're gonna put this aside, and I'm gonna prep peppers. sweet peppers. We need about a cup of sweet peppers, but like I said, you can add more or less to the dish. I wouldn't recommend adding less than a cup of peppers, because peppers are also rich in minerals and vitamins, and they add flavor and sweetness, especially red pepper. I like to use different colors when I cook with sweet peppers. I tend to use green and red and yellow and sometimes orange. So they come in this different colors, and the taste is slightly different in each pepper. So we're gonna get the seeds out. Sorry, I'm a little bit awkward, but I usually do it over the sink, but I just want to show you how to prep pepper. So we're gonna cut it again. I like to cut it smaller than bite-sized pieces. I don't know, half an inch, maybe third of an inch, like this piece is big like this. So we're gonna probably use a whole green pepper, one green pepper, and maybe half of each red and yellow pepper for our chili. And again, water content and high in peppers, so they're gonna cook down and they're gonna add flavor to our chili. We're gonna use half of red pepper. Okay. Yeah, with your fingers, whenever you do the cutting, sometimes it's the fingers get in the way, you know, no matter what you do. So we're gonna use half of the yellow pepper. Let's check on our turkey, ground turkey and vegetables. This is what we got in the pot so far, and vegetables started getting some color, and they started getting translucent, and on the bottom there's some color developing, and that's what we want. So let's give it a stir. Occasionally you do need to stir vegetables just to make sure nothing sticks to the bottom. Here's our pot of chili, and I've gone ahead and added spices to the chili, and I'll let the spices bloom. Sorry, my camera died on me, so I had to speed up the process here. And so I added the spices, and I added diced tomatoes and crushed tomatoes, a can of each. And at this point we are ready to add other ingredients like kidney beans. They've been rinsed. They come in a can. And our sweet peppers. Gonna give it a good stir. It's gonna be nice thick chili, and we're gonna also bring it to a boil now. check on salt, and we're gonna add soy sauce and Worcestershire sauce. Here's our pot. At this point, we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. That's 1 tablespoon. And 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. I apologize again for my pronunciation. I gotta practice to say that. 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. I'm gonna give it a stir. And now it's time to check for seasoning. And we'll see if we will need to adjust the seasoning. Both crushed and diced tomatoes I used, they do contain sodium, so we may not need a lot of salt for this, but maybe some. Let me just get a spoon. I do like to use a different spoon. I don't like to use the spoon I cook with. So let's now do some salt, but it has a nice heat, not too much, and that's what I like. We're gonna add about a teaspoon of kosher salt. I'll just use a regular spoon because my measuring spoons are dirty at this time. So we're gonna add some kosher salt, and we're gonna give it a stir. I usually try to check on seasonings a couple times. We're gonna let it simmer for 15 minutes or so, and then I'll go back and I'll check on seasonings again. We're gonna cover the pot, and now it's gonna come to a boil, and like I said, in 15 minutes we're gonna come back and check on seasonings. It's time to prep our cilantro. This is gonna be garnish. I'm not gonna put this in a chili pot, although you could before serving. I tend to put some in the bowl because sometimes people may not like cilantro. You could use parsley for this. I cut the stems off, but other parts are okay, like the stems are okay. You know, they also have a lot of nutrients, so it doesn't matter if you're gonna get the little stem. It's which is gonna, it's all good. It's all flavor and nutrients. We're gonna run our knife. And that's our garnish. Let's check what's going on under the lid. And our chili is simmering away. It's time to check for seasoning and adjust our seasonings if it needs more salt. I'm gonna get a spoon. And here we go. I think this is just right, at least to my taste. You could put another half a teaspoon salt if you wish, but I think this is has the right amount of salt. And when you cook homemade dishes, you're not gonna use as much salt as well, let's say in a dish at a restaurant. They tend to use more salt because salt does bring some flavor. So we're gonna cover the pot, and we're gonna let this go for half an hour. The vegetables will cook down. They have to be soft, and but pretty much everything is chili is ready. But I like it when it's a little, vegetables are cooked down and they're soft. So let's close our lid and let's let this go for another 30 minutes. Let's check on our chili. Looks like it's done. I'm gonna take a spoon and I'm gonna try to make sure it's done. Nice and thick. It tastes very good. You can taste all the spices and vegetables. It is delicious. And I'll show you how you can serve your chili. Some chili in a bowl and sprinkle with chopped cilantro. That freshness from cilantro and in combination with the smell of the chili is just perfect. It freshens up the whole dish. Enjoy your bowl of chili.